Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. I'm your host, Ril Dil, back for another football edition, NFL edition of the Real Deal podcast as we look back at week 14 of the NFL season and, of course, also a look ahead to week 15 of the NFL season. We are getting closer and closer to the NFL, to the playoffs. If hopefully we have enough players to compete in the playoffs. We'll talk about that over the course of this episode, this podcast. But as always, I'm joined by one Robert Sapp. Mr. Sapp, how you doing this evening?
Doing pretty good. Congratulations on episode 800 that I was not involved in.
Appreciate it. It was like, it was kind of like the Price is Right wheel. Like it just like you just missed the $1 bill.
Yep. I would rather be 801 than 800. How about
That's
that?
cool. Yes, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany Quinn, for being a part of that 800 and the episode of Insecure, which you can certainly listen to now as always. But there's been no guest host that has been a part of more episodes than you. So you had that
earlier.
Yeah, you have that under your belt. So
I had a little segment on 800, but okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
You are the most frequent.
Tiff is a good backup.
That's good. That's good. I mean, that's good. So we are going to get right into it. Who won the week? I have who I thought won the week. Who do you think won the week?
That is a great question. I would have to say, well, you got it up here. I was going to talk about Arizona. And then I was going to talk about that game in terms of, my disappointment in the Rams from the standpoint of where I was at with them to like now. I'm not going to say I'm on board, but I like what I saw.
Yeah, it's no like I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming into that game, I didn't know. I had no idea who was going to win the week. I was like, I hope this game, because I thought coming into Arizona was going to win the game. So I was like, damn, I'm going to be stretching. Like, I'm going to be reaching for who won the week. Thank you, the Rams, because I was like, thank you for making my job easier. I think the Rams won the week. I did not expect that level of performance, considering how many people we had out not only even before the COVID thing came out. Even before that, we know and you know as well as I do how down we have both been on the Rams, and rightfully so, going into a game at Arizona. And then you hear no Jalen Ramsey. They missing 5 guys who all play to COVID protocols, and they go out there and probably pound for pound, if you take in, probably had the best performance, definitely had the best performance of the season, probably since the Tampa Bay game. I think their best performance, all things considered, of the season. There was a physicality that they brought on both sides. I know they did not run for a lot of yards, but when they ran, those yards were purposeful. And again, that is the Ram team that I'm sure that you were like, yeah, this is the team that I picked to go to the Super Bowl once they had acquired Von Miller, and just it was just a constant. It was just a reminder, and not that we need to be reminded of just how dominant Aaron Donald is. We'll talk more about Aaron Donald, but just I think it got to a point to where we almost can take his greatness for granted because he's so dominant, but he just completely controlled that game from start to finish. You have a solid performance out of Stafford, and the Rams did. That was a team that was desperate. That was a team that in the worst way needed to get that game, not just for the standings, of course, trying to make playoffs, but just for their own psyche. And again, I can't emphasize how big of a win that was for the Rams. What were your thoughts?
Huge win, and that's why I was saying, like, when I thought about it, the game that popped in my head was Arizona and the Rams, and not because Arizona played a bad game or there was anything like that, but I was so down on the Rams, and they were so impressive in that game that I was surprised that they flashed to my mind as soon as you said who won the week, because I was so down on them. But they definitely played an A-plus game. It was very impressive.
Yeah, I'm gonna save some of the Arizona stuff for later on. I have some more thoughts on them, so I'm gonna kind of save that for later on in the podcast. I have a few things on them, but yeah, this game was about the Rams, um, and you look at less Stafford is better. You're better off with less Stafford. Like that's just the reality to it.
Uh,
And
yeah, there's no way that's happening because Stafford's their guy.
yeah, he's the guy, but you saw in that game how
Green
it was.
Bay wants to throw.
Yeah,
So
no,
I mean, just that is who they have.
no, but I thought they did a better job with the balance.
Whenever that passing game gets to script that wide open of receivers, Stafford's going to put it on them downfield. They're going to get those big chunk plays. It's just, can they do that consistently enough, and can they do that consistently enough against good defenses in the playoffs?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Because the script has to be very, very good, because what you're talking about with Matthew Stafford, what we've always talked about is he just has too much of that gunslinger mentality and not enough talent to back up that mentality. And so he's just going to keep firing. He just is. He always has. He always will.
Yeah, that's why you have to protect him from himself.
Right.
With the play calling.
Or the game script has to just be excellent. And there will be days where it's absolutely excellent. And they nailed it against Arizona. I have no complaints about anything that they did.
No. Green Bay, Chicago, yes, he still owns them. This game was this game now. Aaron Rodgers is now 20.
Never not own them.
Yeah, he's 23-5 against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Only Tom Brady has owned the team as much as Aaron Rodgers has owned Green Bay in terms of your team, and we'll get to that game later. But yeah, a crazy first half. You had 47 points scored, but then Green Bay says, you know what, enough of this shit. Like, you're not in our class. Let's stop playing. And you see Green Bay just basically toy with the Bears in the second half. I like some things that I saw out of Justin Fields. I see the potential. Nagy will not be there coaching, which was great.
No, he will not be.
Yeah, Nagy won't be
do
there.
not have to worry about that.
Yeah, yeah. But I was really focused in on Fields in this game, and again, I see some things that I think that a competent coach could do with him, that he could be successful and a potential franchise guy with the right coaching and
he has massive amount of talent. That has never been an issue, I believe.
So I like finesse that, and that's what I took out. I mean, I already know what I'm going to get from. I already know what Green Bay is all about, and they should have won that game going away. But I was just very zeroed in on Fields and his play. Rasul Douglas he's gonna make one of the All Pro teams. He's been phenomenal this year. Just making plays. I mean, he's just everywhere. He's had a couple pick sixes. He should have had a couple. He could have had easily two more that he's dropped over the course of the last couple of weeks. Had the big interception against Arizona, the game-saving interception. So when they get their secondary, and they're gonna get Jair Alexander back at some point, that secondary has a chance to be one of the better secondaries in the league, because the guy out of Georgia, Eric Stokes he's a problem even as a rookie. His improvement from game one to now has been incredible. Like that dude is turned down. He has played at a Pro Bowl level, borderline All Pro level, to be honest with you. So that secondary has a chance to be, and they're going to get also they're getting back the pass rusher back as well. Smith, Zadarius Smith. So the Packers are getting some of their guys back at the right time, and we'll see. They're going to be right there. Matter of fact, they are right now in the number one spot for home field advantage as they have the tiebreaker over the Arizona Cardinals. But again, this game went as planned. I'm going to make a comparison to what the Packers did versus what another team that I hate tremendously couldn't do. So hold that thought on the Packers. You got any other thoughts on this game?
No, it's exactly what you said. They have a professional defense from last week. So, yep.
Here we go with a couple division battles. Ravens, Browns. Of course, the big story in this game was
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, was Lamar Jackson. Yeah, of course, Lamar Jackson gets knocked out early with the ankle injury. He's out this week against the Packers. Um, Despite that, and despite being down at one point, I believe 24-6, the Browns nearly found a way to amazingly at home to lose this game. And frankly, I was almost rooting for them to lose this game. I'm like, now the backup quarterback for the Ravens has Huntley has actually played well when he stepped in for Lamar Jackson. He's made some plays, knows the system, of course, but there's no way in the world, there's no way that this game should have even
I
been
always like how excited Huntley is when he gets in compared to the rest of his teammates. He's so hyped and amped. He's running around. Everybody else is so sad. It's not Lamar Jackson out there. I'm always amused by that. I'm like, okay, Huntley, yes, your opportunity. You're the only one who likes this.
Yes, exactly. No, I listen. I'm with Huntley, man. I'm trying to get a start.
I get it. It's his opportunity.
I'm trying to get a start. I'm trying to get paid.
Yeah, he should be excited. But yeah, everybody
else is like,
moving
damn.
at his speed. He's hopping right up, running to the huddle. Everybody's just slow dragging. Like, all right, sure. Yeah, that's the team the Browns. That's the quarterback the Browns is facing at that point in time.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on
puppy out there?
What were your thoughts on this game?
Cleveland's not a playoff team.
No.
That is just quite simply the thoughts. We've been off of Cleveland for 2 weeks now, at least 2 weeks now. They've proven themselves frauds at this point in time, by far.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team at all. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Like that team is just like, no, I don't think they're making the playoffs. They're going to be one of the disappointments of the season without question. I don't think the coach is going to get fired. I think they're going to get rid. I think Mayfield is done in Cleveland, so I think that he's going to be the fall guy from that standpoint. But no, that team is without that. That team is not a playoff team. Like that, they're just not. And I give Baltimore credit. You lose your starting quarterback, and that game. Most teams would have got destroyed. But again, John Harbaugh, and that culture they have, and kind of on the road stood up and made it, almost stole that game. But Cleveland is just not a playoff team, and that team is going to be, like I said, it'll be a very interesting off season to say the least.
Look, I know they won, but all wins aren't equal. Like the team, that's Lamar Jackson on the other side of it. That's their entire offense. Their entire offense went by. I'm joking around about Huntley, but everybody knows their entire offense is gone. So whatever it is they're doing is something they didn't practice over and over again during the week. So everybody's uncomfortable, and you only win by 2 points.
Yeah, no.
So yeah,
at home.
Come on,
yeah,
come on. Like at a certain point in time, come on, your fault. Come on, let's just stop.
Yeah. Dallas, Washington, 27-20.
Go. Floor is yours.
So listen, this game encompassed everything that these two teams are. In terms of my team, I've been hearing a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks with the 4-game winning streak. People sipping, not even sipping, drinking the Taylor Heineke Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And Taylor, he's a fighter, and he's tough, and he makes plays, and I'm like, but he can only make there's only certain throws that he can make, and there's a ceiling that you have with him as your quarterback. And in this game, and really big picture, because this game, went like I told you that Dallas. If I said that Dallas is going, you told me Dallas is going to win by 7, I've been like, okay, you're probably right. But when you get we all know about the importance of the quarterback position. So now Washington has a, like everybody else, dealing with COVID, and also has a litany of injuries, which happens in the NFL, especially mid to late December. So if you don't have a guy that can make up or cover those errors or mistakes, then you're dead. Taylor Heineke, of course, is not that guy. And, I hope everybody can just watch that game and finally register that he's just not that dude. Like, Taylor Heineke. Go ahead.
To your point, he is a backup.
Very good backup. You'd be a very good backup.
And that's not going to win over the long term.
No.
And so I've enjoyed Heineke because he's been very, very cheap in fantasy. Mainly. Yes. But also I've enjoyed watching Heineke because he's doing the best of his job as possible.
Yes.
He is playing amazing backup quarterback. And that's the point. You got to differentiate between the two.
Yes.
He is a extremely average starter, if that.
At best. It might be being kind.
Which means everything else has to go well for your team to win. With an average quarterback, everything else has to go well. If everything else doesn't go well, to your point, when you start to get into the even below average, mediocre, like right there, then it starts to be because of you, we lost that game.
Yeah.
And so he teetered on that edge.
Oh no, they lost that game because of him. There's no two ways.
I knew you were gonna take it there.
So there's no listen. The defense. I mean, for all the injuries that the defense had, the defense actually played well. I thought the defense played well enough to win. They gave up. Dallas only scored. Dallas had one offensive touchdown. They go 1 for 5 in the red zone. The offense gave up a touchdown with the fumble taken to the house after Mekhi Parsons tried to kill Taylor Heineke. I thought he did kill him. And listen, Dallas' defense made plays. The biggest play in the game was the Randy Gregory interception. I mean, not the pick six, but the house call from the dude after Parsons obviously was big. It's a house call, but the Randy Gregory tip pass actually saved a touchdown. That would have been a touchdown.
Real, I know you don't want to hear this, but I am not a Cowboys fan. Nobody will ever say that about me.
Right.
I had been hearing about this vaunted Cowboys defense. I've been hearing about it all year long. That defense against y'all looks scary.
I'm actually going to stop you right there. They're not. Let me say something. They have talent. They had no. They 100% have talent. That's not a vaunted defense. They're playing against an
I'm
offense.
just
They're
saying.
playing against an offense that doesn't have a quarterback, whose offensive line doesn't have a center right now, and whose running game does not scare. Does not.
I knew you didn't want to hear it, and
No,
you
it's
spit
because
out a bunch of
I saw no.
facts.
I watched.
I'm telling you, what I saw was a defense that was violent to the impact of the ball.
Right,
They
and I watched the Raiders put 500
and
yards.
I've
I watched the
seen
Vegas Raiders put
Dallas
no.
this year.
Listen to me. I
Their
watched
defense didn't look like that.
no. I watched
Just
I
saying.
watched the Raiders put 500 yards on that same defense. So I don't. The Dallas defense is not. They have some talent, but
Nah,
that is not
homie.
a big time
Nah,
defense.
it wasn't that defense, and you know it's not. So that point
I mean,
doesn't
it
mean
was the same. They players. They had the same players. What are you talking about? Nobody was hurt that day. That game, they had them players. They was no. Them dudes played. Lawrence and them been back for a couple weeks now.
okay. All right.
They was missing
Well, then
receivers.
maybe it's the I'm about to call you by your old name. Maybe it's the football team that brought it out of them. They moved differently that game. That was the first time I really noticed it.
Here's what I'll say about Dallas. And you talked about like bad losses in terms of Baltimore, bad wins in terms of Baltimore and Cleveland.
I knew you were going to say
Dallas, this game should not have been close. Dallas had an opportunity. Dallas, that the Redskins offense was dormant. You talk about the Redskins not the Redskins, the football team had the ball. They had the ball with an opportunity to tie the game with like 50 yards of offense going into the second half. So Dallas gets the ball. So Washington scores seemingly a meaningless touchdown. I'll take you to this play-by-play here. Washington gets the ball. Washington scores seemingly a meaningless touchdown with backups to make it 27-14. Okay, whatever. That Dallas defense at that point relaxed, cool. I didn't I didn't take that. I didn't even take it serious. Dallas gets the ball back with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left. Right, they get the ball back with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left. Washington has 2 timeouts. They go first down, a 4-yard run. Okay, 4-yard run. So it's 2nd and 6 with about 4 minutes left. Then you go on the 2nd and 6, you roll out Dak Prescott and he throws a pick six. And throws a pick six. Now it's a game. Now it's a ball game again. That is the type of inconsistent play calling, and just that is the type of shit that is the reason why they are not a Super Bowl contender. Is that game management when on 2nd and 6, run the fucking ball and make them use another timeout. Like what are you doing? That was I was like, why are you throwing? And I was like, yes, thank you. As a fan, I'm like, yeah, thank you. We back in it. But as somebody who respects quality football, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What are we doing here? 2nd and 6 with 4 minutes left, and the clock is your friend. You're up double digits. The clock is on your side. So that's why I cannot trust Dallas in a big spot against Tampa or Green Bay, or to a lesser extent even against the Rams. But yeah, that just annoyed me to no end as a football fan. And when I compare that to, and I told you I was coming back to this, when I compare that to what Green Bay did in the second half against Chicago, they had a drive. Green Bay had a drive in the second half that sawed the game away. That was like 8 minutes. They had an 8-minute drive. Let me look it up. Let me look it up here. The game was over anyway, but this is how you finish off a game with a big lead. It was 38-27. Chicago wasn't coming back. Green Bay gets the ball. They have a 8-minute drive that went right. Anyway, I have it right here. They had a 8-minute drive in the fourth quarter that was 13 plays, 71 yards, 8 minutes and 38-second drive. That was it. That was the game. So you have a quarterback and we know Dak is not Aaron Rodgers, of course. So that's the difference. But I'm saying though, even with the play calling, run, pass. I'm looking at Green Bay's play calling, run, short pass, run, 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 short pass, run, short pass, short pass, run, short pass, touchdown. That is how you finish a game. That's how you put a team away with a big lead. So yeah, the division is done. They're gonna make the playoffs, but I can't take that team serious as a Super Bowl contender. I'm sorry, I can't. I really can't. I love Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is a beast. I was going to ask you who does he remind you of? Because I was thinking he has some Derek Thomas in him.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. You just need a segment every week. Just vent on Dallas. Because literally all I said was I like Dallas's D. And now we're at Green Bay in their drives and why you can't trust Dallas's offense.
Well, no, I'm saying no, but that my overall point.
Here's the point. You have criminally underrated Dallas because you're a hate, and that is just
I'm not
who you are. You have Dallas is a beast. You're wrong.
They're not a beast.
Moving on.
Stop.
If they were in the AFC right now, they would be over the Patriots. Like,
stop.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? What are we doing? What are we saying right now, right here?
You don't believe that Dallas would beat the Patriots. You don't believe that Dallas would beat the Patriots in the playoff game.
I'm saying if they were in the AFC right now, they would have a better record than the Patriots. What are we saying right now? Dallas is the fourth.
I'm talking playoffs. No,
Dallas is the fourth best team in the NFL. Let's stop.
Is the what best team in the
fourth
NFL?
Best team in the NFL.
So, okay, you have Tampa Bay. Wait, hold up.
Yeah, I know what I said.
Who do you? Wait a minute. Whoa. Green Bay.
The three teams in the NFC and then Dallas.
You have Dallas over Kansas City? Oh yeah, Get out your mind. Stop it. You don't feed that day. Come on, man.
I've watched Kansas City play.
Yeah, I've watched Kansas City too. Yes, I've watched Kansas City too.
Their offense is a shell of what it was.
They're still averaging 20.
Sneakily not as good as people are making now, and you know that.
Come on.
As well, and that's why I said
you're not looking. You're not looking at the whole. You're not looking at the whole.
And I'm telling you, that Dan Quinn kind of a big deal on the defensive side. Just saying.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no.
Like I said, you get a segment of just pure unadulterated Dallas hate.
Dallas is like the sixth best team in the league.
Sure.
I would put Kansas City and New England over Dallas.
Sure, you
in a heartbeat.
Of course you would.
Real or not, the Bills as a playoff team. You have
push.
Okay.
Push. So. This is New York Times did a stat thing. You know, I listen to all my everything about. So this is coming from there. But the New York Times did their little stat calculator. Patriots beat our next 4 games. The 3 that are at home are against Carolina, Atlanta, and the Jets. Right. The one away is against the Patriots. So I say this to say the stat calculator says even if we lose to the Patriots, go through, we still have an 86% chance to make the playoffs. And of course, if we beat the Patriots, we have a 100% chance of making the playoffs. So the odds are very much in the Bills' favor. Now, as a fan who is watching the team play, I'm not enjoying the ride right now. And if you were asking me what is in front of my face, do I think that's a playoff team? With 7, that's about as confident as I can give you with 7. With 6, hell no. With 7, because the other 2 will be the Colts and Cleveland. So, I mean, are we on par with them? Yeah, we're on par with them. Colts whooped our butts, which is why it's a push. So the odds favor us, absolutely. But the way the team is playing, I would say not.
I think they will make the playoffs. I can understand what you're saying for it being a push. What were your thoughts on probably the game of the week with what happened in Tampa Bay? Basically, a tale of 2 halves.
I get that game.
Yeah. What do you think of?
That was not my game of the week by any stretch of
No,
that.
no. I'm saying in the NFL. I'm not talking about you. Come on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. My thoughts on that game. I was emotionally prepared to lose to Tampa. So right. I was prepared for that loss. As the game went on, I went from frantic saying they're going to destroy us to gradually thinking of what was the most painful way Tom Brady could beat us. That's usually how the games go with Buffalo and Brady. Either the Patriots, his former team, just obliterate us, or it's a last second just dagger to the heart. And so I had predicted by the end of the game that would be punt in overtime, and then Brady would take whatever the next possession he had and then take it up the field for a field goal. Needless to say, it happened way quicker than that. So I am nowhere near as excited as some people are on the performance I saw from my quarterback and the team as a whole. But this is what a 7-6 team looks like. Moments, flashes of good play, and then utter collapses in whatever area it is, whether it be a half, whether it be a series, whether it be a situation. Inconsistent teams, which 7-6 record says, will have inconsistent play, and it will show out. And good teams have consistent play throughout the entire game.
Yes.
And that's the difference right there. That's why it was a tale of two halves. You saw both halves of Buffalo.
Yes, 100%. I thought it was important for them to finish the game strong. Like, I just think for their own psyche from a stand. So I thought the second half was important. I think it got a little too carried away in the press conferences and things of that nature, saying how much we fought and da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah,
you didn't win. You didn't win.
You didn't win. You didn't win the game.
Didn't win.
Yeah,
you can say all that ish when you pull out the win.
Yeah, but you didn't
win. So I don't want to hear it.
No, I don't want to hear that, especially for a team that was in the AFC Championship last year. You're not like
no, it don't have nothing to do with it. Don't bring
well, it does. You had Super Bowl aspirations.
Don't bring the AFC Championship up. Don't have nothing to do with it.
But you had Super Bowl aspirations.
They didn't win the game.
No, but I'm not. You're supposed to be. I'm not. I don't want to hear that from a team that. If that was from a team that didn't make playoffs.
The AFC Championship game. I don't.
No, but my point is they came into this season with Super Bowl aspirations. That's my point.
They didn't win this game.
And they didn't. No, they didn't. That's the number one thing. They didn't win the game. Sure. But what is the thought about the running game, in which is like, okay, so our best rushing attack are set running plays for Josh Allen versus giving our running backs the ball. No carries for the running backs in the first half at all. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't even need to tell you like my thoughts. The numbers bear everything out that I'm going to say. It was painfully obvious probably about 2 weeks ago. But the numbers would have said this the entire season, that Buffalo is incapable of running the ball. 2 reasons. One, the offensive line isn't built for that. And then the backs aren't talented enough to not have a dominant offensive line in front of them. So it's a failure on both accounts. And so the drumbeat for Josh Allen just to throw has been getting louder, and just to do the things that Josh Allen does, again, which is part of the reason in the inconsistent play. But for those of us who believe in balance, which I truly, truly do, it becomes very hard because we cannot run the football. We're incapable of running the football. And it's a farce to even try at this point in time in the season. And so what you saw was what was necessary to be competitive in the game, which is also problematic.
So I guess you're saying, hey, this works. Cool.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
No. Stop. No. I'm saying in terms of the plan of action,
Nope.
we could try to do this for the rest of this year, but we need to
Nope.
rebuild the running game for the offseason.
Nope. I'm
So
saying we have
what are
to
you
do
saying
this
then?
because we don't have a choice.
Right.
That's two different things. Right.
No, but you said considering your offensive line considering the state of your offensive line as lacking a running, and considering that you don't have talented running backs, that this is the best plan of action though for the Josh Allen desired run.
It's not that. It's like I don't even know. That's the wrong phraseology. It just is. It's not the best plan of action. It's a necessary. It's a necessary action because you can't do the other thing.
Right. And I think we're saying the same thing basically.
Kind of, but not really. Like, this is not a plan. This is a failed plan. The plan was like a balanced team.
Right. Okay.
So the fact that you can't run is a problem.
Right. Yes.
Not an asset.
No.
And the fact that you have to wear your quarterback out in order to be competitive in a game is a problem, not an asset. So this is not a plan.
Agreed. Okay.
This is the house is falling down, and we have
desperation.
This is desperation. So we just might as well try to hold it up with a foundation.
Right. This is desperation. Yes. This is
There you go. There you go.
All right. Super Bowl odds. These are the top 5 teams based on the odds of Super Bowl as I last checked up until like an hour ago before the podcast. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Green Bay, New England, Arizona. Those are your top 5. Are real or not from that standpoint?
I mean, yes, real. I mean, like, you look at any of those teams. Is it ridiculous that any of those teams win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This year, absolutely
not. Yeah, I agree with those odds. I think Green Bay is playing better football, is a better team than Kansas City, but you take Kansas City in the middle of that because Green Bay is in the same conference as Tampa Bay. So that's where that comes from. So yeah, those 5, I think those are the top 5 teams, whatever order you want to put them in.
Yep.
So be it. Biggest disappointments. Yes, it's a lot. We got a lot of disappointments this week. I had the Arizona Cardinals. They've had 2 signature games that I was really looking forward to, and they at home, and they failed in both of them. With the other team having significant injuries to key players. The first one was Green Bay. Again, lost that game on the last play, with the Rasul Douglas interception. But bottom line is Green Bay didn't have Devontae Adams and their entire receiving core, outside of Randall Cobb in that game. But Aaron Rodgers. So okay, I'll give you that one. The Rams one was just a bad loss. There's no way the way the Rams were playing at home that you're supposed to lose that game with no Jalen Ramsey and 4 other players who have played prominent roles in that. If you want to be taken serious as a team that has a chance to win the Super Bowl, so I'm very disappointed in Arizona's game last Sunday or this past Monday. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not going to respond to that particularly. I like how you lay out biggest disappointments because sometimes I look at it, I'm just like, I have a point for this, point for that, point for that, point for that, each one. But then sometimes you'll put one up and I'm just like laser focused on it. I was like, that's such a good one. And so I'm so glad you put the Raiders pregame dance on here. I'm so glad you put that up there. Here's what you may not do. You may not, before the game starts, go jump on it. I'm trying to pull up the exact beatdown that happened. Go jump on the opposing field's logo, which is disrespectful. We all know it's disrespectful.
Yes.
We all know that. That is clear. There is no ambiguity. That's not one of those unwritten rule things. It is disrespectful to go into anybody's house and start stepping on stuff they don't want you to step on. That is as basic and primal as it gets. And then get your asses whooped. What is this? Chiefs Raiders. 48-9.
Yes.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
what I said. 48-9. Nah, homies. They don't get more disappointed than that. No. Don't ever do that again.
Oh
Don't ever do that
man.
again.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no, you just don't do
I'm
that.
so glad you put that one on there. I was
Yeah.
so happy when I saw that. I was like, yes, Ril. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I do want to talk about this. Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. That is pathetic. That's pathetic. There's literally nothing else. I wish they would have all laid down and just let the like after the game, just let Kansas City walk all over them like they did during the game. You might as well not even show it. How dare you come out with that type of intensity and have that performance?
Oh, man, they use all the energy dancing. That was it.
Every joke applies. Everyone. They deserve to be laughing stocks. Every joke applies. Give me more, bro.
Oh, the Raiders, man. The Raiders. So the Raiders this year were outscored by Kansas City 81-23.
How dare you? How dare you do that?
Yo,
How dare you? How dare you?
especially when they beat the shit out of you like a couple weeks back. I'm like, yo, really? This is what you want to do? This is what you want to do on their home field? Really, it's like, yo, oh man, yeah, nah, Raiders.
I hope that was sanctioned by every player, If I was one lone one, I told y'all don't do that. I told y'all that was gonna make them mad, and we can't afford to make them mad.
No.
We don't got the players to make them mad. We can't do that. Y'all just want to go out and start stomping on people's logos. Like, okay. Watch this ass whooping. Y'all. Yes, I know I am the third string tight end, but I told y'all.
Right, exactly. Yo. Oh man. The Bengals lose another overtime game at home to San Francisco 26-23. I see the talent with the Bengals, but the inconsistency drives me crazy. It really does. Like I know I'm not saying San Francisco is not. We know is a pretty good team. That was an even game. We understand that. I understand that. But damn, like what the fuck? Like why are you so inconsistent? And why are you having such trouble getting the ball to Jamar Chase all of a sudden? Why? Like what are we doing here?
The Bengals don't bother me because I recently watched the game that they played against Los Angeles. I was about to say San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers.
Right.
And I watched those two teams play. And they were both frantic all over the place, but it was fun as hell because I was watching two young teams just sling it around, play football. They're just playing football, making whole bunches of mistakes in the process, but they were just going about the game and learning, kind of thinking about the boys that you play with. Every game is like a learning process, and the games can swing wildly from week to week. And so the Bengals aren't disappointments right now because they're just so young. Why are they inconsistent? Because they have a young as hell quarterback who doesn't know how to play this game at the highest level and can do anything remotely what you described Aaron Rodgers doing in the fourth quarter.
No.
I know. There's no compare. I'm just saying, even like manage a game like that. That's what I'm saying. That's why that San Diego, Los Angeles Bengals game, neither one of those teams could manage the game. No. Because their quarterbacks are just so young or just involved in just completing the pass, getting the next play called. So Bengals don't disappoint me like that.
Here's Jamar Chase's last 6 games.
I know. He's on my fantasy team. But go ahead.
Okay. You already okay. Gotcha.
Oh, I know. I know that.
That's painful. So COVID cases, 75 players as of now are on the COVID list. The Browns have got ravaged recently. You have vaccinated players as of right now only tested once a week. There have been uproar within circles in the NFL of executives and also people in the Players Association saying, complaining about vaccinated players only getting tested once a week and saying that it should be daily testing for everybody. COVID has run rapid throughout the entire world, throughout the entire country, especially in the sports world. You have right now, the last number I saw in the NBA was like 60 players. Um, what are your thoughts on this moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Welcome to the rest of the world. None of us know how to deal with it. None of us have any clue what to do. I do want to go back to the Raiders and the Chiefs because I'm looking at the box score and literally, like, of course, we all know how you get to 9 points in the NFL. So I'm looking at the first half. Kansas City opens with 14 to the Vegas. Las Vegas is nothing. Then Kansas City pours another 21 points on to Vegas' 3. So that means at halftime, it was 35-3.
Yep.
Don't ever ever do that again. Don't ever. That is what that says. Don't you ever think about disrespecting us like that again. That was a daddy whooping his kid.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. They're lucky Andy Reid is classy because Bill Belichick would have been like 60.
Oh my God.
Belichick, and they actually took the foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. It could have been worse.
That's what I'm saying. In the third quarter, they scored 3 points. In the fourth quarter, 10. Right? Yep. The gas pedal definitely eased up.
It could have been much worse. They could have put 60. I said, Belichick would have put 60 easy. God, what? Belichick with that offense?
I'll tell you what. He definitely would have left at 48. He's getting 50. He's getting 50.
No, he's getting 50. No, he wouldn't have.
Finding a way to at least put 3 more on that board.
Yeah.
For the 51. He's getting 50.
Yes, without question. So this just came out of nowhere before the podcast. Urban Meyer. So apparently, this is according to ex-Jaguar kicker Josh Lambo. He claims that during practice, Urban Meyer kicked him. Let me give you the back and forth. Let me give this is of course according to Josh Lambo. This is coming from Josh Lambo.
This is the kicker?
Yes, this is the kicker, the ex-kicker. He says, all right, here, I got it right here. He says, hold on. I'm in a lunge position, Lambeau told Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times. Left leg forward, right leg back. Urban Meyer, while I'm in that stretch position, comes up to me and says, "Hey, dipshit, make your fucking kicks," and kicks me in the leg. So how bad was it? Quote, this is a quote from Lambeau. It certainly wasn't as hard as he could have done it, but it certainly wasn't a love tap. Lambeau said, truthfully, I registered it a 5 out of 10, which in the workplace, I don't care if it's football or not. The boss can't strike an employee. And for a second, I couldn't believe it actually happened. He said, and this is what he said, this is what he claimed he said to Meyer, pardon my vulgarity. I said, don't you ever fucking kick me again. And his response was, I'm the head coach. I'm the head ball coach. I'll kick you whenever the fuck I want. Yeah. What is going on in Jacksonville?
Here's my reaction to that. I ain't heard that at all. But here's my reaction to that. Just hearing just based off of what you read. Who cares what an ex-kicker has to say? That's one way to put it. The 5 out of 10s, all of that is weird. All those different things. But here's the biggest point. Nobody else's coaches, kickers, ex-kickers aren't saying any of these things. Why do these things keep bubbling up around Urban Meyer?
Yes.
There's smoke.
There's fire.
And there's a whole hell of a lot of smoke with this man.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not full-on blazes, which I think some have been full-on blazes. But okay, there's a lot of smoke at the very least. So that's fine. Why? What? No, this doesn't happen with other organizations, other coaches. No. So why is this kicker saying these things?
Yeah, I just no, it is a full on.
Of course, if he said it, it's abhorrent. Of course, you can't just go around kicking whoever you feel like kicking.
No.
especially not this day and age. Maybe that was fine in the 60s, whatever, blah, 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 back in the day. But we all know this ain't back in the day. So
No.
that's been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's abhorrent if he did that, which is, again, when you go, like, it would be impossible that he actually did this or said this. And then you're like, but all these things keep happening around
With
him.
Urban Meyer,
Like,
yeah, that's the kind that
what?
yeah,
What?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this really is a thing you did? And so you actually have to give it some credence. You have to go, well, that's actually something everybody might do.
Well, we didn't hold on because last week we didn't even talk about this. The shit that allegedly went down with Marvin Jones Jr. and him. Let me look it up now. Yeah, well, anyway, like apparently last week they got into a heated argument. And Marvin Jones Jr. claimed. I mean, they basically to a point where I mean, Marvin Jones Jr. was about to put hands on Urban Meyer. Like, so this has been handling. I mean, like I said, it's been a shit show throughout the course of the entire season, on and off the field. Um, on and off the field with Urban Meyer. Yeah, no, okay, here you go. No, here you go. Here it is. Marvin Jones Jr. came at some of the assistant coaches, and then Urban Meyer got into, then they went back. They went back and forth at it. So that's not as bad. That's not as bad. That I'm not saying that happens all the time. But to our original point, shit just continues to happen with Urban Meyer, and like your head coach can't be like you're gonna have distractions on teams. It's 53 people. It's 80 guys total, whatever practice squad players. So different personalities, money, all that. So you're gonna be dealing with shit over the course of the NFL season. I don't care how good your team is. It's just a matter of minimizing the damage and what have you, and what we hear about versus what we don't hear about. Your coach cannot be the center of attention for the wrong reasons. Like this just can't happen. Like outside of bad coaching. But this is not. I mean, yeah, he's been bad as a coach, but just as a coach and on the field. But the shit that's happening that we're hearing about basically have been, some of them has been off the field, some of them have been non-tactical situations. Like, yeah, like I don't. Again, I don't quite. Again, that's we none of it. Neither one of us was high on Meyer to begin with. But again, the more and more I hear this shit, the more and more I feel like I know that you think you just don't recognize that this is professional football. Like you're not at Ohio State. Like these dudes don't give a shit about your three national championships. Um, yeah, I like he must have known if that situation is true with Lambeau, he must have knew the right one to kick because most players probably would. There's a segment of the player population that would have just knocked him the fuck out. Like so, again, yeah, I can't see like he might. I can't see him being like I can't see how you can bring him back next year. I just can't. Like but it's Jacksonville, so who knows?
He survived a year. I wasn't sure.
He did. Yeah, he did. I didn't. So to your point, that's a great point. I didn't expect him to survive. I didn't expect him to make it past October. I really didn't. Um, Questions for Sap. Have two here. Who is your defensive player of the year right now?
Oh, Miles Garrett.
Okay. Okay. There are really
That
five
sack,
candidates.
fumble, that was a work of art. That was a work of art. Yeah, Miles Garrett. Go ahead.
I would lean towards Garrett, but I also have to take into consideration TJ Watt has been a beast this year as well. There are really about four
Ooh.
candidates. TJ Watt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is really a four-man race with Garrett, Watt, I would say Parsons, J.C. Jackson. Aaron Donald will get some votes.
Of course. He's Aaron
Um,
Donald.
because he's Aaron Donald. But yeah, I think down in and down out, game in and game out. I think Myles Garrett has been the best Steelers player this year that I've seen. I've seen a lot of Cleveland games, so he's
Straight up
been
ferocious. Oof.
he's been dominant from the start, and he's stayed healthy. So yeah, I think Garrett. Yeah, I would lean towards Garrett right now. Parsons is getting a lot of steam, picking up a lot of steam with what he's done.
That man grabbed the running back, yanked the ball out of his hand as he was falling, and then ran it into the end zone the other way. I just
Yeah, no, that play was ridiculous. That was one of those Lawrence Taylor plays. That's shit
yeah,
like Lawrence Taylor used to do on a regular. Yeah, that was some. Oh yeah, that. Yeah, no, that he's a monster.
no, now that when they talk about making a play, that was
That's making the play.
That's making a play, boy.
That's making the play. No, he's his motor doesn't stop. Like
He's ferocious.
he does not stop. Um, so he's been by far and away their best player.
Yeah, we need one of those on Buffalo. We need one of those.
Oh, sure, everybody would.
Yeah, we can do one of those.
Sure, everybody would love.
Uh-huh.
Everybody would love a Myles Garrett, to say
Yeah.
the least. And bonus question, going different sport here. Stephen Curry, of course, broke the 3-point record against the Knicks. That will be the highlight of Knicks season. Stephen Curry breaking their record in Madison Square Garden. I'm predicting. He's going to obviously. I mean, who knows how many 3-pointers he ends up with right now? Well, he's like 33 years old, 34. I think he turned 34. So who knows? Is he this generation's Tim Duncan?
He's definitely not Tim Duncan because he's louder than Tim Duncan in terms of his play. But
in terms of leadership, impact,
I was just going to say that. I understand exactly what you're saying in terms of ego, personality, and the way that he impacts his team. He's the closest since. I don't think there's ever, of course, going to be another Tim Duncan, but he's the closest since. And for it to be so unanimous, and even somebody as venomous as Kevin Durant not having anything bad to say about him, like anything, like he's always doing the right thing, always helpful, always a great teammate. And to a man, they all say the same thing. Yeah, he's the closest one to Tim. He is.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Doesn't bang his team over the head with contracts, anything like that. Yep.
So his impact is just insane. He moving without just how defenses have to what he does to a defense is just like I could not imagine
The
game.
description I'm holding on to with a lot of these descriptors is the player's gravity. His gravity is incredible. No matter where he is on that floor, you have all eyes on him and all bodies moving towards him. Yeah. Just instinctually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he pulls them away from the back. He could be half court.
Yeah.
His gravity is insane.
He and then similar to Tim Duncan, he's all about winning. Like the dude just wants to win. It's not. He doesn't care about his numbers like that. I mean, he really does. He puts up numbers, but he's not a guy who's going to try to get, an assist to pad. He's not going to stay.
He's not going to play outside of himself.
No, he's going to do what he does. And again, this guy, like I said, he's had this kind of third part of his career where he's looking as good as he's ever looked. He's gotten stronger. He is going to be, if he stays healthy, he's going to be MVP this year.
For the first time in Steph's career, he gets to unabashedly be the man. Meaning there's no Clay that he feels he has to cater to sometimes,
Right.
for a variety of different reasons. He gets to be a bit selfish because his team wins when he scores a lot of points. So all the things make sense now for him to put up as many or be as aggressive as he possibly can be and take a lesser load off on the worry of that. And of course, Draymond is no offensive threat anymore. So, and then he has somebody who's just solely focused on facilitating around him. The offense is his. It's completely his.
Yeah, no.
100%. So he gets to show off everything, the full everything.
Yeah, he's a one-man offense. Like he's a one-man offense he's a system within himself. Like we talk about Peyton Manning, that's what he is.
If you just give me a vote early MVP just on this fact alone, Steph came ready to play this year. Outside of almost anybody, them boys in Chicago is balling. Steph came ready to play. Steph came ready to play this year. Like he's played no games from day one.
Yeah.
So I could not appreciate that more for my superstar. I could not appreciate that more.
And like Tim Duncan, you will never hear him point fingers. It's not at anybody.
Anybody. There's nobody that says a bad word about him. Nobody.
Yeah, doesn't do it.
And I keep saying, I mean, Durant can't say bad. You can't wait to say something bad about you, some snake stuff about you. Nothing. Nothing. Zero.
No.
Yeah, he's as good as a person as advertised. He really is. He is.
Yeah. No, it's what he's done with what he's done, how his impact on the game.
And he's the unquestioned leader, just like Tim Duncan was, without saying a word.
Yes.
Yep. He lets his play define his leadership.
Yep. His play, practice habits.
Yep. All that.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, he like to your original point, he is definitely the closest thing to this to being Tim Duncan like and who knows how many championships he can end up with. Duncan has 5, he has 3 right now. He might get very close to that. Especially with Clay coming back soon.
And his game leads to longevity.
Yes. Yep.
So he should be around for a while, unless he chooses not to, or something catastrophic that we can't foresee happens. But his game definitely leads to longevity.
No question. That should be 15. A little typo there. Week 15, look ahead. New England, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Baltimore. Of course, without Lamar Jackson, that takes a lot off that Green Bay game. But again, in this year's NFL, who knows? Like,
exactly.
I can't. I'm not completely dismissing that game, especially I think that game is at Baltimore. But I will never shortchange John Harbaugh and his coaching staff. There's a great coaching staff. He will have those guys. They will be ready to play. There's no two ways about it. And Green Bay better come ready to play. But New England, Indianapolis to me is the more fascinating of those two matchups. What are your early thoughts on New England, Indianapolis on a Saturday?
Yeah.
I think it's Saturday. Yeah.
Man, Belichick has that defense humming, man. It's humming.
Yes.
That thing is humming. And it is difficult to sort out. This is a Carson Wentz game in terms of, can he orchestrate an offense that does not make mistakes? Because what Belichick and his staff do is they compress the time that the people on the sideline have to operate in order to facilitate that for the quarterback. So they make the quarterback read and react on the field. And so Carson Wentz being able to do that effectively after the snap, even if it is running the ball with Taylor a lot, which it will be, then that will be the telling of the game. My instinct says they get a couple of Carson Wentz. That's what my instinct says. And then my other instinct says, come hell or high water, Taylor's not running from 100 yards, 70.
I would give 75 to 80 yards at
max. So I think with a few turnovers from Wentz, not a great game from Taylor, there's not enough there to beat New England. There's not enough. And so I think New England wins that game 24-13.
Yeah, yeah. I think I could see something like that. 27-17, something like that. It'll be a methodical, relatively comfortable win.
Indy will continue to pound it. I respect. They won't stop.
No, they won't. No. They're gonna run the ball. No, they're gonna run the ball.
Possessions will be at a minimum this game.
Yeah.
That's why. At least that's what I anticipate.
Yeah.
Now watch it be 42-40.
No, I think this would be I think this game. I don't see this being a high scoring game. Like I said, to your point, they're gonna make Carson Wentz Carson Wentz is gonna have to win this game. Period. If Carson Wentz is gonna have to make plays.
Yes.
And protect the ball for them to win.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
So we know Indianapolis. Listen, we know Indianapolis on their best day can compete with anybody. Nobody's down their talent on both sides of the ball. But they, again, they like a lot like about 90% of the league tend to make just too many mistakes.
They will.
And against New England, this is the worst team in the league you can possibly make too many mistakes against. You just can't do it. Can't do it.
Just can't. You just can't. It's one of those simple things. If you want to have a chance, you just can't do it. Hard, very hard, but you can't.
New England coming off a bye week, number one. And number two, New England did not play a clean game against y'all. So I know Belichick will have those.
I forgot about the bye week. You're
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 34.
Yeah, you forgot. Yes.
I forgot about that.
They're gonna be fresh. Yeah. They're gonna be fresh. Yeah. This might get ugly.
That's tough.
That is. It's gonna be fresh.
That is tough. Ooh. Yep. Good luck, Indy. Good luck.
That's rough. New England off a bye.
It is.
So before I let you go, I sent you two videos about this this defense, this too high safety defense that Staley from the Chargers kind of implemented and turned onto the league a couple years ago, and how it's like kind of giving like quarterbacks like Mahomes like fits.
Yeah, all of them, all the young gunslingers, all of them.
Yes.
That's why Los Angeles is no problem for the Patriots at all, like none. Herbert is no problem for them because of things like this. Keep going.
So we know that the league is a copycat league. We know that it's a league like a chess that is, or like a just counter move, things of that nature. Do you foresee teams moving into the direction of putting more emphasis on the running game? Because to me, it's very simple how you deal with this. You just run the football.
Yes. And it sounds like an oversimplification, but it's so true. It's just so true. And so, yes, that's the counterpunch. That's the most obvious counterpunch that there is. Now, does that mean like the Emmitt Smith style days are coming back? No, that's not what that means. But it does mean that teams will put more of an emphasis on finding backs that can get chunk plays. Just like they think about the passing game and chunk plays, they're going to start looking at running backs who can get chunk plays. Meaning, if we're spreading teams out and doing all of that, you need a running back that can hit that gap and just go, right? Make that first, second linebacker, and I'm putting that in quotation marks because it's probably going to be a defensive back most of the time. Make a defensive back miss, which is a little bit of a different type of or next level of skill set than making a linebacker miss per se, because of the speed factor. And then be able to get to that second level and actually get distance in that second level. And so I say that to say, I think you're going to start seeing a certain type of mold of running back that is going in there, and those teams that can counter with a full running game, a la Tennessee and a la Indianapolis, will absolutely counteract that. But that does not mean you do not need a Pro Bowl quarterback.
No.
That
I
is
was
definitely what that doesn't mean. Because if you don't have that, damn your running game.
right.
You ain't going nowhere. So you still need that. That's the misnomer I think some teams get into. It's like, oh, we can have a great running game or a dominant running game and a great defense. Cool, we're good. No, you're not. You still need that Pro Bowl quarterback. You do. You do.
I couldn't help to think about what San Francisco and Bill Washington do. They would destroy the two high safety. I mean, with the short passing game, because that's short.
That's the other secret thing, and that's why the Patriots are the Patriots, because most teams now, especially with the quarterback turnover, the youth movement, aren't patient enough to do that. And so until those quarterbacks learn how to be, that's the next counterpunch, right? Like it's like when the Mahomes and the Allens and the Herberts and the Bengals quarterback, Burrows, when they take complete command of the offense and can make all of those different checks and things at the line with complete knowledge of everything and complete view of it, that's the ultimate counterpunch, but that's a few years away.
Yeah.
So the immediate counterpunch is get a good running game.
Yeah.
Because then no safety has to come down. I mean, it's ABC football, but it just is. It's just facts.
Well, you said, and I think this might have been the second video. So, the 2020 Rams had the best defense in the league by far. They were number one against pass and run.
Yes.
But in that playoff game, Green Bay ran for like 180 yards, and that was
also we eviscerated them in that season as well.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Buffalo ran through them. Yep.
Right,
yep. No, I remember that team well. I remember them well.
Yeah. So,
but keep going with your point. Just
that's right. I thought about I was thinking about the video. I was like, I mean, again, the solution to it is simple. It's just about the patience and discipline.
There you go.
There you go. Like,
and that's how, if you're freaking Patriots, you get 6 Super Bowls. Patience and discipline. But it's true.
Yeah.
Most teams lack that at certain points in the game.
Yeah.
That, quite honestly, is the secret sauce. But there are just so few players, coaches, teams, people that can do that. There's just so few.
No question about it. Saturday football coming up, so you're gonna have that. You'll continue to have these divisional games. Dictate the standings. In the NFC, despite the losses, Washington is still in the 7th place. San Francisco jumped to number 6, jumped to 6. Those last 2 spots are basically up for grabs. I mean, you still got Minnesota's in the mix. Philadelphia's still in the mix. Atlanta, I think, is still in the mix.
Disappointment, Minnesota. I went to sleep on that game, full confidence that when I woke up, I would see a score that was like 54-6.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even listen to sports. I was so confident.
Yep.
When I got to work and somebody told me the final score, my mouth was open. Even though they still won that game, I could not believe Pittsburgh came. I could not believe it. And then when I watched it, I still couldn't believe it. Minnesota,
this has been Minnesota all year, though.
I know.
Like, this has been Minnesota all year. I was off the game. So
that's actually why I stayed up as late as I did. So for them to blow it, like literally, I watched that game again, and they were up 26 to whatever.
Yeah, it was like 29-7.
With 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. I mean, it wasn't like Pittsburgh came blazing at the end of the second half.
No.
I think the pick 6 happened. Something crazy happened after that. It might have been even more than what I'm thinking about. To be honest with you, when I went to bed. Because even as I was sitting there watching again, I was just like, how did Pittsburgh, like they did a short burst, then the pick 6 happened, or a long touchdown, I can't remember what it was. And then it was just like, that should have put them away. why is this game still a thing? Going all the way.
Only Minnesota, like only Minnesota. Like think about it. 'Cause throughout the course of this episode, we talked about
That was a dreadful performance.
we talked about the running game and putting games away with the running game and what have you. They had a running back that went over 200 yards, and they still couldn't.
They couldn't at all.
Oh my goodness. Dalvin Cook had 207 yards, and they still could not put the game away, man. I'm like, yo, so that there's been some talk, and we're gonna start to get into this as the season goes along. That Zimmer's definitely on the hot seat. That might have that his time might be up with them.
Yeah.
So, because his defense, like that, he came in with a defensive reputation. Not playing a lot of defense this year.
Ril, you know how I feel about this. It just boggles my mind. The thing you are supposed to be good at is the worst on that team. Yeah. Hell yeah, you should be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be a thing. Like you can't be the defensive guru and have historically bad numbers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Ryans. Any one of you.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's just boggles like yes. And his defense has been great for a little bit now.
Right. And let me look up Kirk Cousins numbers. Kirk Cousins has actually played well.
And now Kirk Cousins is having actually a low-key amazing season. I think he has only like 3 or 4 turnovers, something like that.
I'm looking it up right now. Damn. All right, here we go. So yeah, he's played. Kirk Cousins has 27 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, thrown for 3,500 yards. Cousins
played
at a Pro Bowl level. Yeah,
all of that. Yeah. Give me all of that.
Yeah. No, he's playing well. Yeah, no,
we can't blame Cousins. We can't just like that's what we bang on him. We can't blame him. Not turn the ball over.
No.
High percentage. Good yards per catch. All the things you want your quarterback to do, he's doing. What's going on? You got a running back that can do damage. You got 2 great receivers.
Yeah.
The offense is fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that offense.
No.
The offensive line is fine. Not the greatest offensive line in the world, but it damn sure ain't the worst.
No.
So the offense is fine. So what's going on? Who do we point the blame at? Now we start looking at the defense. And then the head coach, you were a defensive what? Guru. So if I'm looking at the defense, I gotta kind of turn my head and look squarely at you. And you are the head coach of the team.
Yeah, so I looked at that. So I got
a lot of problems. I do. I got a lot of problems.
I had that stuff right now.
It's not the offense and it's not Kirk Cousins.
Their offense is averaging 26
I can eliminate them.
Yeah, the offense is averaging 26 points a game.
Yeah.
Defense is giving up 25 points a game.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So no, it's been and last year
average giving up 25 points a game. That's outrageous.
Yeah, and last year, to your point,
like the league average has to be somewhere around 16.
No, it's not that. No, that's too low. The league average is about 20 in terms of giving. No, not 16. That's low.
The
league average is probably like 20, 21.
No, look it up. I'm not doing properly.
I can't look that. That's a hard number to look up. Like 16 is nothing. Like scoring is down, but it's not down like that. The average defense only giving up 16 points. No, average team giving up 6. No. I would say 20, 21. If I were to take a guess. To your point, last year they gave up 475 points, 29 points a game last year. The defense.
Okay.
So this has been now. They were good in 2019. So the last 2 years they've been horrible. So he's definitely it might be things. I mean, he's been there for a minute now. Had a couple good years, but the NFL is not for long. Like there's things where teams adjust. Things where coaches are not built for like 10 years, like not for extended period of time like that. So at a certain point,
you got to win at a high clip.
You got to win at a high clip. Yeah, you got to win at a high clip. And
That's
they
the only way you survive it anywhere
for
near as
extended
long as
time. Yeah.
the ones we would talk about.
Yep.
We win at a very, very high clip.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like again, what do we look? Belichick, Reed, Payton. So they all, yes, that's the triumvirate of NFL coaches. They won. They win every year. One last number before I let you go. So Aaron Rodgers, with his win over the Bears, joined a select group of quarterbacks who have won 10 wins, the most 10-win seasons, who have at least 10-win seasons. So you got Brady, you had Brady, Favre, Peyton Manning. I think Brady, Favre, Manning, and Breeze. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Pretty good names.
That's yeah, Like he's automatic 10 wins every year. So you get one of those, you have a chance.
You're in the playoffs all the time.
You're in the playoffs. Yeah, you're automatic. You're basically if he's healthy, you're going to be in the playoffs. That's it. If he's healthy, you are going to you're going to be in the playoffs. So we'll see how the rest of the season comes about. The AFC again is still as unpredictable as ever. I just don't know what's going to happen. The AFC you just don't know. With the AFC, especially now with Baltimore, like that division, like I think Baltimore probably will win that division, but like because I don't trust either one, Cincinnati or Cleveland, to pick up the pieces, and Pittsburgh is just not good enough. But that division is still open. It's still open. The AFC North. Um, the West and East are wrapped up. It's gonna be New England and Kansas City. But again, you have to, and basically, I should say the South is basically wrapped up too. I don't like.
It is.
Yeah, Tennessee is going like
They had too big a lead. We call it that.
Yeah,
Like, it was too much to make up, and the Colts are not good enough.
No, no one is good enough in that division, right? No.
It's not possible. Really quickly, just going back, you got me on a rabbit hole on this. You were right. I couldn't find a league average, but there's so many teams that are above 20 points. Like, as a matter of fact, the second or the third team, number 3 in the league is 17.8. So you're right. You're right on that. But
scoring is down though.
There's only one
team. Scoring is down.
I started scrolling down, and then I actually went back to the week even before the Kansas City game. Las Vegas. You want to know how many points they were giving up? 26.8.
Yep.
Who were these people dancing? Well, I want all their names and their positions now. I demand a committee on this. I need to know more. You're giving up 26.8 27 points a game.
Oh man!
You may not dance on anybody's.
And then, by the way, they were coming off a loss to us, to Washington at home.
How dare they?
Why are you dancing?
I'm frustrated for the Chiefs right now. I'm frustrated for them. How dare you even think you could do that?
Oh, why?
What is wrong with you?
Why are you dancing? Why? Ooh. You know, it reminds me of, y'all should have put this what they needed. On them. No, this what they needed.
Just to prove the point.
This is what they needed, right? This is what they needed. I just thought of a movie reference. Moneyball, right? So Moneyball, great sports movie. One of the best in the last decade.
Absolutely.
So they're celebrating after a loss.
Yeah.
Dancing in the locker room, do. Billy Bean, played of course by Brad Pitt, comes in and starts and is like, get down, turn the music off. Everybody basically shut the fuck up. He didn't say that, but basically that was the message. And it was quiet.
Getting them playbooks.
Yes, he said no, and he says that it was dead science. He says that is what losing sounds like.
There you go.
And then he throws the Gatorade, the typical movie scene.
Yeah.
Theatrics, throws the Gatorade table over and walks out. They needed Billy Bean before the game. The Raiders needed Billy Bean before the game. Like,
somebody run over to him. What are y'all doing?
What are we doing?
Get on that sideline and review some shit. For real.
That might be the big if we do biggest disappointments of the year, that might be number one. I think that gotta be number one.
I love that one. I do. I'll probably talk about that one for a while. I love that one. I do.
Oh man, the
I do. You
Raiders.
can't do that. You can't do
Can't
that.
do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that and then get whooped 48-9. Like, no. All of y'all should be suspended. I don't know. Detriment to the team. Bye.
Man, they know.
Crushed.
I got one more reference. They needed that. I know he wasn't a good coach, but they needed Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary can't do it, won't do it. I'd rather play
all of y'all.
I'd rather play with just 10 men on the field and get paralyzed the rest of the game.
There you go.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Horrible head coach.
He was terrible, but he had that one moment. He had that one moment. He was horrible.
He was so bad. He was so bad.
Yeah, he was bad. All-time great player, but no.
Yeah. Everybody ain't built for this coaching game.
Nah, he was not at all.
He definitely was not.
Woo. Oh man, that was the Vernon Davis.
Mike, stop yelling at everybody. Mike, you can't yell.
Mike, you can't.
Mike, you just can't do that. No, you just can't do that. Mike, no, you can't scare them. No, you can't. That's bad. Stop it. Stop. No, Mike, he's our best player. No, you can't bench him just cause. You know what? No, you can't do that. No.
Mike was right there. Mike was running that game like a high school.
What are you doing, Mike? What is the defense do? Why do they look so confused, Mike? He's so bad.
Oh, he was bad. Yo, he was bad.
What is even happening on this field, Mike? What is happening? That's why Harbaugh looked like a god.
Yes. Yeah, Harbaugh was like, thank you. Yeah, Harbaugh was
like, what? Y'all don't know how to run basic offensive plays right now.
With the same talent. He had the same talent.
Like, let's just keep a playbook that you can memorize and read. Understand. Man. Let's start there.
Yeah, Mike had, man. Mike, that was a bad stretch of coaching. That did not last long. But
we way on a tangent.
Yeah, no, that's what dancing on the field and getting your ass whipped by almost 40 points does.
That's what we'll do.
My goodness. Oh man! All right, let's go and wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast, NFL recap, Week 14. Looking forward to a Week 15. As of right now, both our teams are still in the playoffs. So that's
number 7.
Hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread, but still in there. I will never complain about meaningful games in December, especially considering what's happening off the field.
That is actually a very fair point.
Meaningful football in December is good. Normally, I'm looking forward towards the draft around this time, but and I'm still looking forward. I'm still looking at the draft, to be honest with you. But I can actually enjoy the games on Sunday and want to and have a vested interest in the outcome, as in comparison to years past. So I'm not gonna complain. We could be Jacksonville.
I'm not going that far. I will definitely complain, but I agree.
Well, you can. Yes, you had higher expectations. So you can.
Well, no, I'm just complaining. I don't care what.
I'm not gonna do too much complaining. I'm gonna complain as a fan, but I know because I know it could be worse. It could be much worse. Like there are some teams that we could be Jacksonville. We could be Detroit. Some teams that just.
Yeah, I don't want to live that life.
I don't know. No, I'd rather live this in between, middle of the pack life than be in Siberia. Like, I'm sorry, I'm good. Where the biggest story of the game, the biggest story of the week is what your coach is going to do between Dan Campbell and Urban Meyer. Like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. All right, Robert Sapp, thanks for joining the program.
All right, sir. You have a great evening.
All right, you too. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. I will be back with you, of course, with another podcast coming up soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. This podcast will probably be up later on this evening, if not early Thursday morning. So we'll have that out. Got some good things coming up to wrap up 2021. Everybody definitely stay safe out there. Certainly thoughts and prayers out to those families in the Midwest who suffered just tragedy with these tornadoes. Man, I just could not imagine. I don't want no one wants any part of a tornado. So definitely keep those in your thoughts and prayers. And also, I just want to send a final shout out. And, felt like I've had too many of these this in the last few months, but definitely a rest in peace to one Simone Jackson, who again just was anybody that knew her uh, would tell you that it was a pleasure and a privilege, pleasure, and honor to have known her, and she will be missed to say the least. That is the understatement of the century to say that. So rest in peace, my friend. You will definitely be missed. Have a great rest of your evening. So long.